Hey guys, if you like the show and you want to help us out, you can visit our Patreon, patreon.com/fairytalepodcast. Hey guys, Richie here. I wanted to chat really quickly on the podcast about a review for an anime that I just finished watching, actually a minute ago. I watched The Pet Girl of Sakura, and it's actually a really interesting show, and I hope more people have checked it out. I don't know what its popularity is because I haven't run over to my anime list and checked on it yet, but I wanted to talk about my thoughts and impressions around this show in particular before I went and started checking out other people's thoughts and impressions. I kind of wanted to give my raw review, I guess, sort of. I've been watching it over a couple of days now. I say that, and it took me a couple of days to get through it, but it wasn't back-to-back days. I watched a little bit a while back, and then I got back into it because as ADHD as I am, I get distracted and I have to do a bunch of other things. And there's also been like a whole bunch of other work. And again, I want to apologize for us not having a consistent amount of stuff, but I did want to share my thoughts and feelings and opinions on this show publicly on our Patreon, on our YouTube channel, and on our SoundCloud. And I'm recording this really early in the morning. Well, really early for me, but probably not for everybody else. It's about 9:30 in the morning on Sunday. Yeah, crazy, right? But that having been said, I want to dive into this really quickly. Now, it started off kind of slow to me because it just seemed kind of general tropey as far as like anime comedies and slice of life stuff go. But as you get further into it, if you can get past that, there's some really interesting stuff that's going on there. And I'd gone through about 4 or 5 episodes of it, and I wasn't quite sure how to feel, and that's kind of what kept pushing me forward. I didn't have a clear feeling of whether I liked the show or whether I hated the show or I disliked it or I really enjoyed it. I hadn't formed a full opinion on it, and that's enough to keep me watching episodes. And so I kept watching, and I kept getting invested. Like, I started really liking the characters, and you know that you like a character when they do something really dumb and you want to punch them in the face. It's a 2D fictional character, for God's sakes, and I want to punch them in the face. Hell, there's plenty of times I wanted to slap some people, and that shows you how invested I get into the show. If I have enough energy invested in a show that I get really, really angry and want to kind of physically lash out at fictional characters, I'm definitely invested in these characters. So that's really a good point towards the characters. The writing was interesting as far as like all the different things that each character had. And just to kind of sum it up, it very much is kind of like a comedy slice of life in an art school where they're in a specific building, all living in this one building together. It's called Sakura Dorm, even though it's not like a dorm room how you would typically think of it. You could think of it as more like a Japanese style house. I wouldn't say like old school Japanese, like not with a lot of the Japanese motifs that you're used to. They have Western style doors. They have a Western looking kitchen. They have Western restrooms, I guess. I guess we saw the bathroom in one scene and it did appear to be a Western toilet, but it wasn't for the purposes of like using the bathroom. Somebody went in there to hide from somebody else. I'm trying not to spoil too much, but I will say that as it got into the much later episodes, like not only did the story invest me, but I'd grown so accustomed to these characters that when a specific event happened, I started crying. And it's a school's anime. It's a school setting anime. Of course, there's going to be a graduation ceremony. When the graduation ceremony takes place and we get this speech, I teared up. And I wasn't planning to tear up. I didn't think I would, but I did. And all the other characters were tearing up as well. And it just made me feel like I was sharing this moment with the characters. And that really struck me as not only very good writing, but very good animation and good story. If I'm remembering correctly, and I haven't looked this up yet, and I'm not going to right now because I want to continue on with this review, but I think the guy that voices the main character of Sorata is the same person that voiced Kirito in Sword Art Online. So if you enjoyed his voice, you may want to give this one a look. It's very, very funny. I've seen some stuff, and I've seen like clips from it that people have put up on YouTube that was very funny, and that's initially what got me into it. And I'm pretty late to the game probably on this anime, but I hope it did really, really well when it came out, and I hope it continues to do well. Again, guys, if you want to watch it, it's on Crunchyroll and it's on Verve. And this is basically my non-spoiler review. If I was going to give it a out of 5 rating, I'd say it probably gets up to 4.5 because it got me very emotionally invested towards the end. I know there's probably a lot more to say, but I don't want to spoil the show. So I may do a spoilery review later after I've actually gone and done a bit more research. But just for a non-spoiler type review, I guess a short kind of recap like this is good enough. So that having been said, I hope you guys check this out. And if you have, let me know in the comments on any of the places that you see it, whether you're listening to this on SoundCloud, whether you're checking it out on Patreon, or whether you're watching it on YouTube. Post in the comments. Let me know what you guys actually thought of this show. I'm very, very curious to hear what you guys think, and maybe I can respond to some of your stuff in this spoiler review. That'd be really cool. I'd love to actually include our commenters in spoiler reviews for certain episodes. That having been said, guys, I'm Richie Roberts, and I'm encouraging you to watch more anime.